thanks for joining me today. Today's card is for my mom's birthday, and I wanted to show you a few different techniques, some of them very simple, but how I put this card together. So I have a standard piece of craft cardstock, 5.5 inches by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm going to use my jumbo wheel. And it's not something I pull out often, but I really like the very vintage wheel that's in the mini catalog, and I'm going to use my ink pad to ink up my wheel. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ink pad and I'm just going to roll it, or my wheel, and just roll it over the ink pad to get some color. And then you can see here what that's going to look like as I roll. Now I want it very faint, so that's why I rolled off some of that ink. And now what I like to do for wheeling is I like to go on an angle and I like to pull towards me. So I'm going to pull it towards me, and when I do that, you can see here, there we go. It's a very faint pattern, but when you look across, it doesn't look like there's going to be a line. And I'll show you. So that's going to be actually the back of my card. So just to have a little bit of texture and pattern on the back. And then on the front, I'll do it the other way. And I'm only going to do it the other way because, spit it out, Heather. I have paper that's going to beat up against it. So I'm going to just wheel that across. Really happy, very soft, very subtle, and you know, not a whole lot of texture needed. If you wanted to do one beside it, I'll show you. Again, you just go across, and that's what it would look like. So that's the beginning of the card, and I'll be back to help assemble it. Okay, so you saw the wheeling happen. Now I'm going to assemble the card, and what I've got here is just some of the designer series paper. I think it's called Bella Blue. And I've just got two different patterns in that, and I've got about a 3/8 of an inch along the bottom of my card, and I think about 1 3/8 inches here. So I've assembled that, and now I've just got a craft cardstock layer, which is 2.5 by 2 1/4, and then I've stamped the word friends, or that comes with the very vintage stamp set. So I'll put that on my card. And now what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to apply it just yet, is I've got the flowers from that set, but I just want to lay them on here first. So what I've done is I stamped them on very vanilla cardstock, and then I cut them out and I sponged them in close to cocoa ink. So I kind of have roughly where I want them, but again, I'm not going to push down just yet. And then what I'm going to do here is my ribbon is going to go underneath this. I'm going to have a bow over here on this side. Okay, so as you can see, bow phobia here. I tied my bow, which is just the craft taffeta ribbon, and these flowers are here. And what I'm going to do now is I've also cut out the little flowers. So I did the brocade and bordering blue. So I put bordering on the brocade here and brocade on the bordering. And I'm just going to set those on. Now, I only put adhesive in the center of these flowers because I actually want to add dimension. So what I'm going to do is just kind of fold up my petals to add some height to this card and some dimension, and just to give that vintage look. So I'm going to do that, and you'll see that on the finished product. And then the last step, what I'm going to do here, and you'll see, oh, actually I was going to show you, on the back I also did the same flower, and I just wrote a little message there. My greeting, my friends here, which is appropriate for my mom. I just stamped and cut out, and then I popped it up on dimensional, so it's going to be higher than my flower on that petal, so it stresses that, and you can see the friends, and it's sponged in the close to cocoa. And now I'm just going to take some Crystal Effects. I'm going to put a little, whoops, hopefully a little dab in the middle of the flowers, and then I'm going to use some of these half back pearls from the Pretties kit. So the vanilla would look better here if I had them, but I've got the white, which is fine, because I'm going to rustic it up a little bit with a little bit of chocolate stays on ink anyhow. So you'll see that. I'm going to sponge the rest of my card just to give that same feel, and that's the outside of this card for my mom for her birthday. And I was going to show you actually really quickly how I sponge, because some of you have asked me that before. What I do is I take my ink pad, I take my sponge, I'm just going to tap it, so I just tap it on the ink pad, and then I lift my project and I just drag it over the edge. And the the more flat you hold your sponge, the wider in the sponging goes. The more at the 90 degrees that you sponge like this, the shorter and the more intense your color is going to be. So I hope you liked today's project, and I will see you again soon.